final games coming to an end. We're waiting for the playoffs, and from nothing at the beginning of the year to a lot of basketball towards the end of the year. Today, with me to discuss is the coach of Livingstone Basketball Club, based in Makerere University, Mr. Eric Matovu. Very welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Eti.
Yeah, it's very good to have you here.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I know that coaches have a very busy schedule, standing in the sun from morning and all these things. But thank you for coming through.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Eti.
Every time we call coaches, I know that sometimes you have busy schedules, but just taking off time to come and discuss the game of basketball and the development of the game in Uganda is a very good thing. Going through your profile, I know that before, you ended up with the Livingstone Basketball Club.
Yeah, true.
You were coaching the Lioness, that's the girls.
Yeah.
You also coached Watoto.
Yes,
I also know that you have a basketball academy that you're working with. So your life is basically filled with basketball. So you wake up, eat, sleep,
we live and breathe basketball.
So outside basketball, right? Is there any other job you do, or it's 100%?
I think it is 100% basketball. I'm a teacher.
Okay.
I'm a teacher at British School of Kampala, and I'm a PE teacher.
Yeah.
So apart from that, also another job that I do it's a full-time job. I'm a married man.
Yeah.
So I call it a full-time job. I'm so proud of it. So I think basically that is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So growing up, did you ever think, this is what I want to do in my life? Because I know that our parents tell us, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, and then you ended up somewhere being a basketball coach, which in Uganda is not seen as a very serious thing.
Absolutely.
So what was it like for you growing up? What did you think you'd actually become?
I dreamt of being a pilot,
and
that's why I did MEG at A level. Ended up doing a lot of accounts. I'm an accountant, but you see, this world will push you to ends that you won't even think of. Absolutely. So I chose my passion, and I'm pursuing it passionately. So we live and breathe basketball, and it's what we're doing. That is what is bringing bread on the table. To me, I am enjoying it. It is so nice. It is so nice.
That's interesting. So talking about your basketball journey, you've coached a couple of teams, especially in the lower divisions. What was your experience like? What was your first experience coaching? I remember my first experience was they just threw me out there in the deep end and said, that's the team you're coaching. And I had very little knowledge about basketball. At that time, I was just more of a player, not a coach. But I had to learn really quick, how to become a coach and a player at the same time, So how was it for you? How did you end up? Where was that start of your coaching career?
Oh, I started with matching the shooters, and to be honest with you, I built them from scratch, and up to first division. We worked with Roger Seronyugo, and we brought it up. But to be honest, it was a roller coaster. It is a whole lot of learning. When you start to coach. And I believe basically that it is you, the coach, who learns more, even the players that you're coaching, more than the players that you're coaching. So it really humbled me, and it made me become a man. I usually tell my players that, if you want to be the greatest player out there, you've got to behave like a servant. If you don't have humility with you, and you don't have the discipline to push you, you cannot go any far. Those are the things that will push you. I tell them, I usually use one phrase, that you see all these accolades, the degrees, the profiles that you have in life, they will take you somewhere. But can they sustain you there? I don't think so. So it is your character at the end of the day that is going to sustain you in that place. I always tell them, if I call for a training session and I tell you being at 3 or 4, why don't you be there earlier, 15 minutes to time or 30 minutes to time, and the coach finds you when you are good to go. You are ready. You've put in some work already. That shows that you know what you want in life. So it is a very, very learning experience, Mr. Eti. It humbles you, and it makes you become a leader in life.
Interesting. So it's always exciting to know the journey of a coach, where they started from and where they are now. And every coach has their own philosophy. Some maybe you copied from someone else, but what has been your coaching philosophy throughout this time that has carried you basically to this much success? Because different coaches have different philosophies. So what is that philosophy for you as a coach?
Me as a coach, my philosophy is literally, a mixture of very many.
Yeah.
I'll look at very many coaches. I'll look at very many coaches from the university. I'll look at the Mountains. I'll look at very many coaches abroad. I'll look at Phil Jackson. I'll look at this one. I'll look at this one. Then I'll come up with my own. Yeah. I won't say that I have a definite philosophy because different players react differently to different philosophies. You may carry a philosophy, but it won't work for certain players. Yeah. So you have to adjust as a coach. You have to know who your players are. What are they able to pull up and do? You won't say, I'm so rigid that this is me. My philosophy is I only play a transitional game. Yeah. A transitional game, and that is what I'm going to do. So you find players who cannot run. So what are you going to do? But they are very good on the ball, but they can't run, they're not athletic. So won't your philosophy change? Yeah. So I'm a combination of very many different philosophies from different coaches, and I usually execute my philosophy according to the players that I have in that structure or in that program at a particular time. Yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of coaching, the coaching fraternity in Uganda has always had a lot of pressure on them. We've had FIBA instructors coming in to take coaches through certain clinics here and there, but it's never really more than a month. Okay, and I believe that you can't really learn everything about coaching basketball within a month. Okay, and in some instances, people say that our coaches are not that good, we're not that experienced. Take an example of the Silverbacks. We had to go outside Uganda to get 2 coaches to come and help with the national team. Okay, so what's your comment on coach development? Okay, we'll talk about player development later, but coach development in Uganda, where are we lacking, and what do we need to do to make better coaches actually in the country, so that we can grow this game of basketball?
I think we are somewhere right now. I think we have very many coaches that are really experienced. I'll be honest with you, and I believe we do even have coaches that have reached the level 3 of FIBA, not per se on level 1 or level 2. They have a lot of experience, but it's just because of the structures that have been in place. The structures have not were not on our side to be there and exposed and get these certifications and all the things. But I can assure you, Mr. Eti, that we have very many coaches that are really doing a very tremendous job out there. Very many coaches. When you look at the time they're putting in, the resources that are available on the table for them to execute whatever they're doing, I think we are somewhere. I'm just curious if we had the same resources like people abroad, I think would be far. People are so passionate about this game. People love this game. They literally do basketball a lot. So at the end of the day, there isn't so much difference between them and us right now. Honestly, I don't believe even that we should be jumping so much on players from abroad and all that. The players here can do the job. They can do the job. It's just because maybe we're getting a little bit ambitious and all that. But what I know is with time, even our players, homegrown players, we're going to be having them on the national team and they'll be representing like 90%. 90%. So we have very many good players. Very many players are coming through. And it's a good job that they're doing.
So during the time of the Silverbacks, when they were playing the tournaments in Rwanda at the AfroBasket, there was a group of people that believed that we should actually have only homegrown talent on the Silverbacks team. And yet others were of the view that it's okay to bring players from outside. Okay. Some of them, if they're actually Ugandan, some who are naturalized. Okay. So which camp were you in?
I would say I'm Ugandan a little bit, even myself, but the dynamics change, Mr. Eti. When you look at the players that are coming in, who are playing from abroad, the Ishmael, the Opongos, the Wad, I think they added a lot of value to our team. Let's be honest. But it doesn't mean that we won't get there, even homegrown talent. There. But you look at the confidence, the way they were playing and all that, they added a lot of value on our team. So we can't take it for granted. We still needed them. We do. It was a very good addition to have them.
Yes, backtrack a bit, still talking about coaches. You do realize that in Uganda right now, if I'm to say, there are about 3 female coaches and only 1 in the NBL. Yeah, Coach Mavita. Yeah. So do we have a situation whereby there is we're not encouraging the ladies enough to get into coaching, or the ladies just don't want to get into coaching because of certain issues here and there? Some people say that ladies do not want to get into coaching because the emotional side takes the best of them.
Because they're driven by intuition all the time, that's what we're saying. But the truth be told, I'll be honest with you, I think the ladies have been laid back so much. They've been given chances. I mean, even National Council of Sports calls for very many ladies courses, and they've been given chances even to improve their administration skills and all the things. Template that we are on also eating from. It's just because, and we have very many who have played the game, but you see most of them the moment they go into other institutions like marriages and all that, they tend to be caught up so much, and they won't have the freedom that we have. Most of us, we can juggle here and there, but the ladies, most of the time, you realize that, you know what, there is so much on their plate, they have to do this, they have to do that. That's why most of the time they don't evolve in the game like how we are evolving in the game.
Okay, interesting.
But given more resources, given more structures, more encouragement, and from the federation, the federation is also trying, it's doing its part. So I think we'll have the numbers. We'll do have the numbers, absolutely.
Speaking of the federation, I actually wanted to jump there next. For the whole year, actually, on this show, okay, we've been trying to analyze the different problems that the federation has, okay, and one of the biggest issues we saw was the issue of finances, because if you look at the campaign of the Silverbacks, you know, the qualifications for AfroBasket, then the saga that happened with them in Rwanda, where they didn't have enough finances to even pay for, you know, the hotels, okay. So according to you, you've been in Ugandan basketball for a while. You know, I know that you have a perspective that you need to give. You have a different kind of analysis. What are some of those problems that you see FUBA as a federation is facing in Uganda, and why have we really failed to develop that much as other nations in Africa? Yet, we have actually one of the best leagues in the African region. Okay, so what are some of those problems that FUBA has that has limited the growth of basketball in Uganda?
I think if we do not nail down a concrete sponsorship package, I think that is where all our problems are starting from. I remember way back we used to have MTN, and they could give us jerseys and you know, this airtime. Remember those days, when you used to play for that airtime, that passion, you know, playing for that airtime. You know, it was a small package, but it was coming in. And then, you know, Airtel comes in and everything changes. Then we start to miss out the jerseys and everything. So I think we need a concrete sponsorship. I think all our problems are starting from the finances bit. So if FUBA can get some sponsorship, then I think our league will be the best in Africa.
Way better.
Will be way better.
Yeah, but I mean, one can argue that we actually had sponsors. There's a time MTN was on board. There's a time Tascalite was on board. We had Airtel on board at a certain point, you know, but we ended up losing, you know, all these sponsors. And right now, I think the game of basketball actually does not have a sponsor. Apart from the last year's playoffs where UAP came and actually sponsored the playoffs. Apart from that, you know, we lost all the sponsors.
Absolutely.
Okay, so...
And it's affecting us, especially us who are dealing in the lower league a lot. It is really so hard on the people running these teams, the managers and everyone. They have to meet here, chip in for transport for players, you know, allowances and all that. It is really a hassle. So we need sponsorship in the lower division.
Young people at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials. And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
It is the CEO Bench. My name is Eddie Okila, and this is House of Talent Television. Welcome to the program this morning, where we bring you people who are rising to the top, or people who are already on the top and coming down, or people who are motivating themselves to get to the top. The CEO Bench focuses on individuals rising to the top, people who have done something, reached a certain degree of success in life, and not success of money, but success of happiness and success brought about by experiences that they have been through in life. My guest this morning is a man who is a journalist, a radio journalist. He is a music teacher, and he is a motivational speaker. At the same time, running a business with his wife here in Kampala. But he is better known to you as a man from Bonjour, Kampala. Welcoming the man and only Patrick Chingo. Bonjour.
Bonjour, monsieur Eddie.
Ça va?
Oui, ça va bien, merci. Et toi?
Et toi bien?
Ça va bien, merci.
And welcome to the program.